Hey guys, today as promised, I'm gonna do a little quick review, my version of the new Ninja 300. Oh, sorry about my fuzziness, but it doesn't matter really. Beautiful sunny day, and perfect for making a review. I'll talk about a little bit about the bike and just everything altogether. So a little bit about myself real quick. This is my fourth motorcycle that I had. My first one was CBR 600, and then let's see, then we had bought myself a scooter, and then the next one we bought a bike that was a Suzuki Boulevard M109R. So it's a huge bike. So we have a little bit of experience when it comes to motorcycles. Been riding for like 4 or 5 years, something like that. Then I decided to buy myself a Ninja 300 because I ride a lot in the city, and I figured, it's a very economical bike, might be worth a try. It looks very nice too. About the bike, bought it winter time, right before winter started. It was really cold, or it started snowing, and the next day I bought it. But it was a very gentle winter, so I put like 600 miles in the winter, and so yeah, I pretty much gave it a bunch of miles. I bought it for around 5,300 bucks. It was a very decent price because I bought it right when it came out. I bought it a month after it got released in my area. So a little bit about the bike. The bike itself is extremely nice. I did not know what I expected from it. I did ride 250. I had a chance to ride 250. I actually took my driver's exam on the 250. So I rode it a little bit around. It was a nice bike. Pretty much, slightly faster scooter that more comfortable, different seating position, all that. I took it for a test drive. It was very surprisingly, after 600, it's a very nice and easy to ride bike. The second you get on it, it was very gentle. You can actually use your gears. It didn't give me anything unexpected. When it comes to bike itself, engine is powerful. You can really feel the difference between 250 and the 300. It is fuel efficient. I'm getting 60-65 miles to the gallon, and I ride it pretty hard. And I did put a custom exhaust pipe on it. We'll see how you can hear it, if you can hear it in the video altogether. We're doing like 50 miles an hour right now. It's pretty loud, but I like it. It does sound good. The exhaust pipe was very quiet. It's super quiet. It is very nice if you like your bike to be quiet, but I installed a different exhaust system, exhaust can at least, because I just didn't feel safe. Riding in the city, it is very dangerous, and if the driver doesn't see you, at least he'll hear you. And if you're riding a very quiet bike, he will do neither. So I decided, just to install a custom pipe. We'll see how it feels. And it's very nice, very loud. Didn't have any problems with it at all. Saying hi to some bikers and some more bikers. Engine, problems with it. It does, when the bike is cold, it will stall when you're coming to a stop. Only in the beginning. When the engine is cold, whenever you pull in the clutch and you're like engine braking, the engine will stall. Like once. It stalls once when the bike is cold, and you can't really, the only way to go around is whenever you pull the clutch in, you just gas up a little bit so the revs don't fall too low and it doesn't stall anymore. I already got in the habit of whenever the bike is still cold, I'll pull in the clutch and I'll immediately gas up the engine so it doesn't stall on me. And you only need to do it the first couple of stops before the bike warms up. Once the bike warms up, there's no more issues. There's also a little bit of issues of backfiring. You could hear with the stock pipe, the bike backfires when the RPMs drop rapidly, around like 3-4K. You can hear a little bit of a pop with the stock exhaust. If you put on a different exhaust, you can hear the same pop, only much louder, so it's not a big deal. It's nothing very major. Transmission, 1,700 miles almost on the bike, and the tranny is now nice and worn in. At the beginning, it was still wearing in, or a little, it didn't click in properly. You have to click in harder or softer. But now the tranny is nice and worn in. No issues with it. Very nice. Clutch is amazing. The slipper clutch system is very nice. Had my fears about it, new technology and all.
on this bike at least. It's super easy to use the clutch in the system. Much easier than a normal clutch. Changing gears is extremely easy with this thing. You barely have to pull. Alright, besides that, let's see, engine we talked about, tranny we talked about. Let's talk about a little bit of handling. This bike has slightly bigger wheels than 250. It handles extremely nice. It's extremely nimble. It is lightweight. It has a very nice wheelbase. I'm going to later on do a comparison between this bike and my body bought a Kawasaki 250. So they're slightly in the same class. So we'll see how that goes in the comparison. But this bike handles very nice. It is nice and nimble. I am 5'11", and this bike fits me perfectly, to be honest. If I would be a little taller, it might be a little smaller. I have a very tall friend who sits on it who looks like a dwarf. But if you're under 6 feet, that's definitely a very nice sized bike for you. Seating position is slightly sporty. I don't like the 650 seating position because 650 you just sit straight up like this because the handlebars are very raised up, so you're sitting up all the time, and that seems awkward to me. I love my seating position to be super sport or sport. It's just pretty much like a bicycle. I want to be leaning forward when I ride. The seat is comfortable, very nice and soft. Back seat is crap, very hard and uncomfortable to ride on. Also, when you have 2 passengers, when my girl wants to ride with me, she's 110 pounds. It's noticeable, the bike gets heavier, but it still pulls just as well. Just like any bike, it does, handle slightly differently, but there's no problem with 2 riders or 1. I'm a guy, I'm about 180, 185. No problem for this bike to pull my load. Giggity. This bike is extremely sexy. The only thing that was stopping me from buying 250, the headlight just looks so stupid. And the bike itself was okay. The plastics were fine on the 250, but the lights were just horrible. And the rear tire as well. I did not like the rear tire. When this bike came out, it has slightly bigger rear tire. It looks much better than the old one. It's still small compared to like Hayasan 250. It's a smaller tire, but it looks nice. You know it's not a 600. Pretty much the only thing that gives you away is the rear tire. But I'm fine with it. It handles very well. I was thinking about putting on a big tire, but after some research, I decided that it's not worth it because the handling is going to suffer. The bike would be very twitchy, and altogether, I don't feel like wasting money, especially on a $5,000 worth of bike. But aesthetically, just new plastics, amazing looking. Headlights, awesome. Dashboard is very nice. You have a nice dial for RPMs. No gear indicator, which sucks, but you kind of get a feel for it after you ride it for a while. Suspension, it's on the harder side. It's not as squished, as soft as, for example, Hayasan 250. It has a much softer suspension. But then again, you don't really want a soft suspension on a sport bike. So suspension is very nice. I enjoy it. It's very easy to handle like a beast on this thing. Colors, I chose white because white is always classy. And also my gear from my CBR had a lot of white and black on it, so it just kind of fit in all together. Mirrors are okay right now. I'm seeing a little bit. I have to move my elbows in order to see right behind me, just like any sport bike. Turn signals are visible. They flush mounted, as you can probably tell from the pictures and stuff if you've done research. Acceleration, in the city, nobody can catch up to me on a stoplight. Doesn't matter what car you have, it just gets that shit up. It will even raise the front wheel if you know how to ride it proper. It's not a 600, but it is still a very nice bike, very comfortable commuter. If you need to commute somewhere, this is the bike. I would say that on the highway, it does get a little shaky. If you're going below 70, you are fine. It's not that loud. You do have vibration on this bike because it is a V-twin. The vibration, you can feel it after like half an hour. Your arms get a little numb. You can compensate by grabbing your bike properly with your legs and just not putting as much pressure on your arms. But there will be a little bit of vibration. There's less vibration than a Ninja 250R because the engine is not rubber mounted instead of whatever the fuck it was before. For one person, this is a very comfortable ride. So compared to 600, it's weaker. It's much easier to ride. It's not as sporty of a sitting position, but you're not sitting up straight up. so you're leaning forward a little bit. Some people are asking about the exhaust. Is it too loud? At first, it seemed loud as fuck. The Delkovich exhaust, I have the N70 or D70 or some kind of 70, I already forgot. It is loud. It is super loud. But I've driven by cops all the time. I asked them about it. They say, no, it's not that loud. If you run this bike next to a Harley or any kind of other V-twin bike, it is just as loud. It's not louder than that, so nobody has issues with it. Nobody ever gave me, like, nobody yelled at me for having too loud of a pipe. But it is loud. At first it was very weird. In comparison, there's such a dramatic difference between the stock and exhaust pipe and the modified one. It was weird at first, but then now I got used to it, and if I hear Ninja 300 with the stock pipe, it is just weird sounding at this point. All in all, it offers so many nice features, very forgiving. I would definitely recommend buying this as your first bike, for sure. But in any case, I don't want to keep it too long. If you have any questions, or you want me to talk about something, I will gladly make another video. We'll see how this one turns out, because the camera looks a little shaky. Yeah. So yeah, have a good one. Thank you for listening, and have a good one. Bye-bye.